Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting, and welcome to our channel today. I appreciate you being here. And if you're new to our channel, if you're finding us for that very first time, welcome. It's good to have you. And as a quick reminder to everybody, the purpose of our channel is to provide as much information as we can to as many people and as many places as we can to help them grow their business, help them shorten that learning curve, and really maximize their investment. And we provide it all for free right here on our channel. And so the best way we can do that is when you subscribe and when you like the videos. That helps us, broaden our reach. So if you've not yet done so, please do that. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button and help us grow that reach to more people, across the globe. And so with that said, you can learn more about me in the links below on different ways that I can help grow your business and help take your business that next level. And a couple links that I would point you to as you get down there is number one, our email newsletter link. It's absolutely free. Sign up for it. It's one more option where you can receive additional information to help you grow and develop your business. And then number two, if you go to our website, you can check out the link below. fmconsulting.net, and you can gain free 100% free access to our gym management playbook. So go check that out, and we look forward to seeing you guys there. And with all that said, let's get into our topic here today, and it's tips for building a successful gym sales team. Tips for building a successful gym sales team. So, if you're a manager, if you're a general manager of a gym, if you're an owner, if you're a sales manager, you're a department head, these are all folks that indeed could be overseeing, a sales team. And I want to give you some things to think about on and how you can really develop and build a successful gym sales team. So, number one on my list is we want to create a collaborative culture. We want to create a collaborative culture. And I'll give you an example of one of the ways that I go about this, particularly when I first get involved in a project. And I'm talking really more of the bigger projects that I get involved in. But these are things that you as a manager or you as a director can do with your existing facility, is I will send out a Get Acquainted Worksheet. And one of the things I attempt to do in the Get Acquainted Worksheet is I want to learn as much about my staff as I can. Okay, what do they think? What do they like? What do they not like? What would they do if they were the owner? What would they do if they were in charge? Because I want this to be collaborative. If they have ideas, if they have things that would work, if they have things that they're behind, that they'll help support, they can be that bell cow in some cases. Good chance I'm going to do it. As long as it fits within the parameters of how we want to do business. But I want this to be as much collaborative as we can, and I don't want it to be me kind of forcing something. I want it to be collaborative, and the best way I can do that is to find out as much about my staff as I can. It's not a whole lot different really than how you sell the membership with the needs analysis. I mean, the more you find out about the customer, the easier it is to kind of bring them along and get them involved in a program. So I want to create a collaborative culture. It's not me just forcing that on them, but we do have to stay within certain parameters, of course. Okay. Number two, we want to build a team on a foundation of trust. We want to build a team on a foundation of trust. And, part of this is, that collaborative approach, listening to their ideas, accepting their ideas, delegating, following up, training, catching people doing something right. Okay. This is all going to help do that. Okay. Be a resource center, just like we want to be for our customers, be a resource center. For your team. One of the things that I always try to look at when we're trying to really develop this team is, I'll ask everybody, hey, how do we treat our best customers? How do we treat our best members? How we want to treat our best staff, or really all of our staff, really. Because, the true thing about our staff and our team, this really becomes your brand. It really, in many ways, becomes your differentiation, how they handle folks and how they do things. Number three on my list of tips for building a successful gym sales team is encourage constant feedback. I want constant feedback, and I don't want them to be afraid to give the feedback. I don't want them to be afraid to disagree or say something different. I want constant feedback. Now, I don't want it in a negative stance. It can be they disagree, but I don't want to go negative on it, right? So we want to encourage constant feedback. And one of the things that I do, and do frequently, really at every meeting that we have, is I go around the room and talk to everybody, and I'll ask them, what's working well and what's not. I want their feedback. Tell me what's not working. Tell me where are you struggling. Tell me, where do you need help. Tell me what's working. In part because I want that feedback from them, but also want everybody else to hear it because they may have been through it. They might be able to provide ideas. I want them involved. I want it collaborative, and we're going to work through it. So I'm going to ask what's working well, what's not, and I want that constant feedback. I want to hear what's happening. We're not trying to enable. We're not trying to make excuses. We just want to have an objective understanding. What's happening. Inside the facility. Number 4, this one, is a little more of a challenge sometimes, but we're talking about building a successful gym sales team, is, we want to practice good hiring practices. We want to prioritize this, okay, good hiring practices. And I'll tell you what maybe a poor hiring practice is hiring when you need somebody. What happens is when we hire to fill a slot, boy, almost every time it's wrong. Almost every time it's a mistake. And so we want to have good hiring practices. And just, for the purposes of this video and kind of what you can think about here is I like to see you have a recruiting plan of action where we're always recruiting. I mean, you're listed on all the sites. You have, listings at local employment agencies, schools. You're building up a full email database. Information is going out frequently. You're going to job fairs. You're hosting job fairs perhaps. But you want to have a real strategy in how you're getting leads, if you will, folks that, potentially might want to work for you, into your system, and you're constantly recruiting. And there's a certain way to go about this. Hey, send over a 30-second video, telling me why you're the best person for the job, because I want to shorten my curve as well on this. I don't want to get bogged down on this, but I'm always looking, because what I want to make sure happens is when a spot does open, I can kind of reach out and grab somebody and they're ready to go. It's the right person, because you will weed people out over time, because what you don't want to do is get someone hired and find out they're not the right person for the job. And so get a real strategy in place to really build your pipeline up. It's the same thing you do with membership. We need to have that full pipeline, because without that, boy, it cuts off the oxygen supply real quick. Okay. Number 5, we want to implement a strong onboarding process. We want to implement a strong onboarding process. And what I would say about this, training, right? We want to train our staff. Is develop certain criteria. I know we have training formats that we put folks through that really make a difference, and then we've got other things where clubs that they got to move kind of quick just because of whatever the reason is. And it's like a 7-day jump start. Okay, it's a 7-day jumpstart program. As a matter of fact, if you would like a copy of our 7-day jumpstart for a new hire, email me direct. You can find the link below, or you email direct at jthomas@fmconsulting.net. Be happy to email it to you. Okay, it's a 7-day jumpstart for a brand new person. How do we get them started? Because we want to have a strategy, to get these folks onboarded and get them onboarded quick. Because from a salesperson standpoint, it's always been my experience, I want that salesperson to start off quick. I want them to get a sale. The longer they go without getting that first sale, the more problematic this becomes, okay, as far as them sticking around, because self-esteem drops and self-confidence drops. So make sure we're really onboarding, we're really training these folks well. They know how to do the software, they know how to answer the phone, they know how to follow up, they know how to give a tour, they know how to, give a presentation to a customer, they know what to say when the customer, has questions, they know how to look things up, all these things that we need to know. Make sure they know that. And even give them a 2-day study guide and then sit down and give them a test. Okay, and they can't come to work till they pass that test. But have a strong onboarding process. Number 6, obsess over the basics. Obsess over the basics. And the basics are the fundamentals. The basics are the process, of this business. And because at the end of the day, when I look at this, it's, hey, great attitude and follow the process. We do that good chance we're going to have success. So when our attitude's not right and we're kind of winging it, it gets a little more problematic. And so obsess over the basics. How do we handle phone inquiries? How do we handle new web leads? What is our guest process like when a customer comes in? What's our price presentation like? What's our second sale like, our third sale? Okay, how do we go about getting referrals? These are all basics of the industry. Okay, they're basics of most businesses. Okay, obsess over them. Don't deviate from them. Stay on track. The last thing that you want to do is start to wing it. It's the last thing you want to do. And then number 7, okay, my final tip for building a successful gym sales team, you want to adopt a more than just quota mindset. You want a more than just quota mindset. If quota's 100, don't just focus on that. Okay, one of the biggest challenges, I think, and one of the biggest mistakes that so many sales operations and companies kind of run into is they get what I call that small think. One of the first things we want to do, if we want to have like great success, change our think. We want to think big because it costs you nothing to think big. If your quota's 100, maybe you make it 200, maybe you make it 300, but then you prepare an action plan on what it would take to reach it. Okay, but you want to have a more than just quota mindset. Don't just be looking at quota. Okay, we want to go well beyond that because it costs you nothing to think big, and you put together an action plan to match it. What's it going to take to do that? Okay, and you start doing these things, and you can have marvelous success because you have the greatest product in the world. There's not a single person on planet Earth that cannot benefit from what you do. That's the beauty of it. Okay, and it's going to be up to us, what's our attitude going to be like and what kind of processes are we going to follow. So take a look at our 7 tips, okay, to really building a successful gym sales team. If you're an individual salesperson, what can you do on some of these things, to get better? And if you're leading a group of folks, let's use this as an outline to take ourselves to that next level. So folks, again, my name's Jim Thomas. I appreciate you being here at the channel today. If you've not yet done so, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. Help us reach more people, help them grow their business and shorten that learning curve. And then don't forget to click the links below to get free access to our gym management playbook. And we look forward to seeing you all in that next video.